Well, welcome back to Charlie and Friends Show. We enjoyed ourselves all last week, had a good laugh, and I hope we get the same thing going for you this week. I was really surprised this week so far, though, and, I better introduce you to my friend Jeff. Jeff's my little sidekick. He's with me so much I forget he's there.
In fact, you came and see me on the now you can see me on the screen.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think about you.
I was almost not. I wasn't there. So thank you. Hey, well, welcome back. I love having you on your show.
You enjoy the show. But I wanted to thank a lot of them because this week I'm getting more and more calls from people than I ever have before in emails since I started this show.
Yeah.
And I had one girl call me that I haven't seen it since probably third grade.
Oh, wow.
And somehow she got my phone number, probably off my Facebook or something. Anyway, she gave me a call and was telling she watched her show last week.
Mm-hmm.
And she sat there and cried. I went, oh, no, that's not good. Then I started asking her more questions.
We brought her to tears.
Yeah. And I started asking her more questions. I said, well, what are you crying for? She goes, you got me wrong. It was a good cry. Because it just took me back to my days with her and her sister. And she said, things that we did. And she said, they just made me start crying with joy. And I go, ooh. Yeah, because I thought she was crying for something else that maybe was that awful or something and didn't know it. But no, she's crying for the good stuff. And I've had people so far too at the county building when I go to the grand jury and work during the day because a lot of you guys remember I'm foreman of the grand jury there in Tulare.
Mm-hmm.
And people be walking by, hey, seen your show. Oops, seen your show. Where are you guys seeing this at? Because I never know what channel or nothing it is, but they're catching it on computer TV.
That's right. Yeah, CentralValleyTalk.com. It's been around for 7+ years, and that's where a lot of people, they love watching it on their phones. They could watch it on their pads, whatever. You know?
Yeah, they're watching it on their computers. And one girl told me she got rid of her. She don't have a TV no more or nothing. She just does it all on her phone. I go, whoa, that on her computer? I said, man, that's beyond my days, you know. That's getting too complicated for me. I mean, I'm just a dumb old Hopi boy. It comes to this. But anyway, last week we ended off, we was at my dad's ranch and farm where we got chickens and calves and everything else. You might name it, we had it there, but I was thinking about this one deal that happened to us. You know, everybody's got an aunt, I think. You got an aunt?
Sure, a couple of them.
Or a smart aunt.
Oh, yeah.
My aunt that I got, she was strictly, let me tell you, okie. And
okie dokie.
Yeah, we had this bull that my dad picked up for us. We had 4 heifers. And he wanted to breed those heifers. So he brings in this little bull and put him in there. And this bull, I don't think he liked them heifers or something. Because, I mean, he would jump out, take off every day. I'd be at school, and we'd get phone calls. Meet your mom out by the bus depot out there. Your cows are out again. And here we go. We'd go out home, have to catch that old bull, put him back in there. And I mean, we worked on that fence. I kept getting higher and higher with wire mesh, but he'd keep jumping on it and leaning on it until he got it that where he can jump over it. And I mean, and then I found out later too, he'd jump over a 6-foot fence. Didn't bother them none. He just pow right over it. It was amazing. But anyway, one night he got out at nighttime, and my aunt come running in the house. Oh, the bull's out, Come on, boys, we got to go catch that bull. So we all jump up, get our clothes on real quick, run outside, and we're chasing this bull down all over 40 acres. I mean, we're getting tired. And there was a ditch back there they called Fowler Switch. Now, a lot of you guys probably from around here will remember that old ditch. You know, it had water in it, during all the summer months. And sometimes it didn't. We did a lot of swimming in it. Well, anyway, she was lucky this time that had about 2 inches of water in it. And this bull went down in this creek. And on this creek, you go down so far, it came to a little low bridge, which the old bull couldn't get through. Now, us boys, we kind of knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get in there and we caught that bull well, I roped him. And when I roped him, that's when he jumped down in the ditch. And my brothers, we grabbed onto the rope, and he chirped real quick when he did. You know, he burned our hands. We didn't have no gloves on or nothing. And so we let him go again. And my old aunt, here she is. Dang, she's a little nag. She's nagging at us about what we were doing. And, you know, the way we were not letting that bull, by not holding on to him.
Yeah,
Man, we're trying our best here. And she's sitting there threatening us and all kind of stuff. You know, you gotta get that bull on us, get that switch. You know, don't let that bull get away. So finally, we got a hold of her, and she came down in the ditch with us this one time. She goes, "Now I'll show you guys how you keep this bull from running." And she gets the rope, ties it around her waist. You know what's coming now.
Oh yeah,
And me and my two brothers, we just kind of shut back a little bit. Kind of watch her. She goes, "Now you guys go over there, switch him a little bit, get him going back the other direction, back to the barn."
Mm-hmm.
And we did. We go, she get going. That cow took off, and when it did, it jerked her right on her fanny. And here they go plowing down the ditch, and at the other end, it was blocked off too. So we knew that bull was going no place besides up and down that ditch. For some reason, he would not climb out of it. You know, we knew we were going to have to pull him out of it. But as we go following my aunt, it was dark time, so we couldn't see too much. We heard her screaming.
Oh yeah,
you know,
oh yeah.
Help, help! But as we walk along, here we come, we find a skirt, and we go, socks, a blouse, and we're picking all this stuff up. And we finally get caught up with her, and the old bull, he's at that grid all stuck with her, and him are together.
Oh, my goodness.
She was mud from head to toe. Yeah, man, she wanted to kill that bull. She wanted us to get back there, get the gun to shoot the bull. Pat, you can't do that. You know, that's the only bull, but that just bought him, you know. Hey, where to get that bull, make him stay in the... I mean, you get one of them little okie gals mad, oh, man. And plus, she hung around, she's married to an Italian. And so she knew a lot of Italian talk.
Yeah.
And man, she started blubbering. We didn't know what she was saying, but we knew it was bad because the tone of her voice. So anyways, boys, finally, we got a hold of that old bull, and he was kind of run out by then. Pulled him out of the ditch, took him back out there, put him back in the pen. And all this time, my aunt stayed out there in the mud. Well, actually, on the side of the ditch. And we told us we had to go back and get clothes for her. And went back, and I got my mom then, and she got the clothes and everything. Then she drove back there with the car and dropped her clothes and got back off, you know, at the house. But that's something I'll never forget. The day I died, the way he said, it looks like a jet ski going down there. And one of her smart ideas, I didn't work out at all. I mean, we had a ball doing that.
Gosh.
I miss those days so bad sometimes, you know, some of them goofy things we did or seen. You know, it just wasn't us kids all the time screwing up. I mean, our parents or aunt, they all messed up.
That's right.
You know?
There's no rule out there that says only the kids have to screw up.
Yeah. But this Ann one, she was crazy. She was crazy till the day she died. I mean, we'd have to go to her house every once in a while.
Okay.
How bad, real bad. And back in them days, for some reason, she believed in that castor oil. You ever taste castor oil? Or milk of magnesia?
Yes, I have.
Oh, awful.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, time my mom said, well, you're going to have to go to your aunt's Pat for the weekend. Oh, no. I mean, we would cry, we would scream, we'd do everything not to go. And my mom never could figure out why. And when we'd make us go, she'd drag us. And first thing us three boys would get there, she'd line us up, pull out the oil. You got to have this, and milk magnesia. And, oh, man, you'd get sick and puke. You just hated that stuff every time. And at that time, we couldn't figure out, well, why is she giving us this stuff? Like she just tell me, make you healthy. We're already healthy. Don't leave us alone, will you? But she did. Oh, she just pestered us to death. But like that really got bad. Her husband, my Uncle Tony, and I guess he went off to war or something with the army. He did something in the army. When he was gone, we were so little at the time that we didn't remember where he went to. But he was gone for a while, and she had to come live with us. Out there on the ranch.
Oh, fun, huh?
Oh man, it seemed like everybody wanted to come out there and live with us because she was living with us for a while. Then I had my aunt Jean; she lived with us for a while, and it seemed like us poor boys were always had to sleep in one bed. If we didn't sleep in one bed, it reminded me of Three Stooges. Lying in bed. But everyone we had it out. We lay down and sleep on the floor. All depends how much company we had. We didn't have that house we had on that. It wasn't a big house. I mean, it's just a 2-bedroom house, and had a living room in one room, and then the kitchen and the living room. I guess you'd call it all into one part of it.
Yeah.
And the divider, you walk around to the other side. Nobody went on that side for some reason. But so that's why every once in a while we'd sleep on that side on the floor for us kids. When we had company over. Did you have an aunt like that?
Not quite like that, no. But
I don't want to have weird aunts.
Oh, okay, well, let me think real hard.
Real hard,
If I've got one that's passed away, I can talk about it. If she's still alive, she might be watching the show, and then I don't know if I'll.
Mine, but they're all dead. They all died.
Of course, we've all had quirky relatives, there's.
You was around them much?
I was around them. There'd be these ones that would be like, this cough syrup or that will cure anything.
Vinegar.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to get that all the time.
Right, and they'd use it for things that absolutely scientifically there's no way it can cure. But in their mind, they're like, it'll work. It'll make you feel just fine.
You'd
like
be
you can have a broken bone. Here, take some Robitussin.
But you'd be surprised at some of them old remedies. Because like she used to give us.
Oh, for sure.
What was it? Vinegar. And what else was in that? Some kind of cider.
Oh, okay.
Vinegar cider. But she'd give that to us. And she always just told us it was good, good for you, it's good for you. And I never figured out why. But here about a month ago, I was really getting bad cramps in my legs and stuff. Went to the doctor, and they gave me all these funny pills to take, and I still get them cramps. Oh, they hurt. And then this one guy told me this, the guy about my age, I think he's probably a bit older, says, you ever tried vinegar? What? He goes, yeah, go down there, buy you some vinegar and cider, and mix it together. And when you get one of those cramps, take a shot of it, and I'll guarantee you'll be away. It'll be gone in 30 seconds.
A shot of vinegar and cider.
Yep, apple cider.
Apple cider, okay.
And so I went down, well, what I got to lose. I went down there and bought me a bottle of vinegar, a little bottle of apple cider, and got me a big jug over here, and mixed it all up, shook it up real good, and put it in smaller jars. Got me 2 jars out of it then, and first time I got a cramp, I got that bottle, took a big swig of it, but ooh, make you pucker. I mean, the taste ain't good. But just like that, they were gone and did not come back that night or nothing. And so I keep a bottle handy with me all the time now. And I'm getting where every morning when I get up, I'll just, first thing that I do, I'll take a big old swig of that, get the first part of it gone. Then I go to my other little pills, the doctor, I call it my old man pills.
Yeah.
When you get a certain age, these doctors just start giving you pills,
Sure.
Oh, you got to have this for this, you got to have this for that.
Yeah, and this pill's got to counteract the effects of this one,
Yep.
and this one to counteract the effects of this one, and oh, by the way, and don't be driving on any of
Right.
those.
You look at them all, make you drowsy. every one of them.
Right, exactly. Caution may cause drowsiness.
Yeah, and
Then you got like 20 of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. You look like a drug factory. But at least when I found that out about that vinegar and that it really worked, I took all them pills back to the doctor. My next figures it. I said, "You take these things and shove them."
Oh, I bet that came over well.
What's wrong with this? And I told him what happened, and he goes, "Well, you shouldn't be doing that for it because that's not really been a
scientifically tested by the government and the FDA and all that."
Yeah, it ain't been done all that.
Nonsense from them.
And it could hurt this and it could hurt that and that. You know, you don't know what it's going to do. So I know one thing it does do. I don't get cramps no more.
Right. It solves the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like real quick.
Yeah, well, they're all.
So if anybody's listening and
hooked
you
into
get
that
cramps,
FDA drug stuff,
try it.
They're
it
hooked
works.
on it more than us.
Yeah. And then it's an old, I read about it before, it's an old Amish cure, is what it is.
Hey, and the Amish seem to be living pretty long.
Yeah, but they don't got cramps. I know
and they do work hard. Yeah. They make literally everything of their own and on their own
accord.
accord.
Hard day, I'll get them suckers bad. Anyway, that is enough of drugs.
On that note, why don't we jump to commercial? We'll talk about something else other than drugs.
Yeah.
I
got a good story coming back up when we get back.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Be right back in a few.
Well, welcome back to Charlie and His Friends. I hope we got a good laugh on the first part. I know we did. I still see it in my face about my aunt going through all that mud and stuff. That's one way to get her back. And we could have talked that bull earlier if we wanted to, but we thought we'd pay her back for all the stuff she did to us. Her main job was on the farm when she moved in was to take care of the chickens. And like I said, we had about 100 of them white chickens.
Oh, okay.
Little Benny and a bunch of little Benny hens. Those little small things, small chickens.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, my dad loved the little Benny hens' eggs. They're smaller, but they were more richer or something. The yolk in it was a lot darker than your regular white egg. And a lot of the white chickens ate all the time. That's something else there. It's ugly. But I'll give you a story on it. Well, I'll tell you now. We back in them days, even though we made our own food, most of it, because they just came out of the Depression and everything. So my mom, dad, my aunts, and all that stuff. They were tight on everything. So we raised these old white hens and white roosters with the Benny hens, but the Benny hens was more or less for eggs. And the way mine was so mean. She'd go out there trying to get a chicken to eat or two. She'd just go out there and just grab that chicken and grab it by the head and just wring that poor old chicken's neck. So that thing, the day we walk out there and we see 5 or 6 chickens just flopping around out there. Nothing bothered her at all and stuff like that. But then one day, some guy came out there and talked to us boys and stuff. And he asked if he was in a fighting roosters, chickens, back in the days. And he had this one rooster that must have been super, super good. And he needed to put it some way away from all his other chickens, or his fighting roosters. So he said he had a big fight coming up, so he wanted to put him someplace where he was safe, with other little chickens that maybe he wouldn't bother, or they wouldn't bother him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first couple of days he was out there, that rooster killed some of them white chickens, which wasn't too bad. We just took those and ate them. But
salvage.
We salvaged them. Then we left for about 2 or 3 days. We went someplace, vacation or to go see somebody. Like go see an uncle or somebody in Walnut Grove. Anyway, we came back. Oh, you wouldn't believe the mess. We walked out there. There was blood and guts all over the place. And among that, we found this guy's rooster. And that little rooster, I guess, decided to take on that baby little hen. Had babies.
Oh.
And he went to play with her. And that chicken just beat that little fighting chicken to a pulp. And here he had a fight. They call it a brown derby. And I guess that's really high up in there in chicken fights. And this chicken was supposed to go there as the #1 contender.
Oh, and he didn't quite make it as
no, he
#1
didn't make it.
contender
Benny
by
Hinn
the
just chewed
time
him
of fight
up.
night, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that guy came. Oh, man, he came out there. He was so mad. Oh, my dad, he was yelling at my dad, and my dad said, hey, you're the one who brought him out here. You know, I didn't tell you to leave him out here. You wanted to bring him, so you got to go with what happened. And the guy, I guess he got another rooster stuck in there for him to fight. I don't know, but I know he left mad. I had been smoking. And it took us kids about 2-3 days.
Well, his prize fighter got taken out by a little hen.
My suggestion was you ought to take the Benny Hinn with you.
Yeah, there you go.
You know.
Like if your rooster's all that great, he wouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
And he would have known not to start a fight with the wrong hen.
Really, I mean, back in the back it was illegal back then, I guess, like it is today. But people back then, they didn't think that much of it. The cops didn't.
Oh yeah, it was a holdover
Yeah.
from the old days, the 1800s
Right.
and all that, where it was commonplace.
Yeah,
and
come you even find the cops there,
that were probably involved with it,
Yeah,
and
constable
probably
showed up.
gambling on the
On the
outcome
side.
too. But yeah,
But they still have today a lot, because I know I got a cousin, and he lives down south, like Bakersfield, Oldville, in that area, and he has chicken fights there, and I didn't know this for a long time, and one day I went out for a cruise on my motorcycle. I said, I ain't seen that old cousin in many years. I don't go by the house to check it out. Went to his front house. He goes, oh, no, he's out there somewhere. They're having chicken fights today. Oh, really? Yeah. She goes, let me call him. She calls him up to the house, and he picks me up and takes me out there. I mean, he goes, hey, look at this. They had a spotter way on this tree over here, spotter way over there.
yeah, looking out for cop cars
Yeah,
rolling up,
they had them all over the
could
place.
change it out. Yeah.
And he says, they come in here, and he's showing me, we got to route out this way, route that way, and if the cops show up, come, this way you go, this, and that way, that's where you
Right.
don't get popped.
Yeah.
And I go, man, what in the world are you doing this for? It's all like you got big time money in it. And there is, I guess, because I sat there and I had $10 on me. He goes, hey, you want me to win you some money? I go, well, it'd be nice. I give him $10. He goes, this Mexican guy goes in and gives him the $10. Or no, he doesn't give it to him, he keeps it, but he just talks to him and holding the money.
Okay.
And he comes back to me, he says, oh, did I see that guy right there? I go, yeah. Well, he's got that chicken's yours. Okay. I got to go out there, and they fight with each other, and there's no blood or nothing flying like you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of this other chicken goes, whoop, just dropped over.
Oh.
But my chicken was still standing. And the guy came over and gave me $500. And I'm going, holy moly, this is great.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, that's one way I make some little extra money. But he goes, I make more money bringing beer out here to do this. And he had a big old keg, a trunk about the size of this table right here. I mean,
Nice.
and it filled with beer. He'd sell those beers at $5 a can.
Well, you're right. It's like being at the stadium. Once you're in the stadium, the beer's, it's such an inflated price, but you're a captive audience, as they call it.
I couldn't believe it because, I make a little bit of money out here on the beers. I mean, they had lines up there selling that beer. And I was glad when I got out of there. I mean, I was scared to death when I was in there. Because he was able to speak Spanish, and I didn't. And I think I was the only one speaking English in there. And, it was just kind of scary to me. I mean, you're looking for cops up in the air and helicopter and this and that.
Oh, yeah. And it's been getting to be a bigger and bigger offense. And it's a demonstration of how things have changed over the years with that. The things that were accepted in that era or tolerated by the cops.
Yeah.
Even if they were on the books as illegal, the cops were like, okay, all right, we don't really care too much. In
I feel
fact,
like they're on his book. Because you
but,
never hear about chicken fights too much.
anymore.
You hear about cockfights.
Well, that's the same thing,
Same
cockfights.
thing.
Yeah,
And
I'll
see.
I call them chicken fights, but it's
Yeah,
cockfights.
the news will every so often you'll see it on the news. Cockfighting ring was
Right.
was
You know, when you hear
busted
that,
open.
it's time for re-election. That's when you hear it.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I had a friend goes way back, a sheriff that I knew. Well, he's still alive though, I think. We're not mentioning the name.
yeah.
So anyway,
be safe and careful on that one.
He always knew. So I roped with the old boy at times, and he's telling me he already knew where all these cockfights were happening at.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he wouldn't bust them. You know, he had like a deal with them, but he wouldn't bust them till a certain time, and around election time.
Sure.
For going to pay for
Sure,
it.
to get
And
the
what he'd
news
do,
coverage
He'd tell these
and,
guys,
you know.
hey, I'm going to bust you here pretty soon, so be ready for it. And so what the guy would do, he'd get a bunch of no-nos in there that didn't know nothing, first-timers or whatever.
Oh,
And get them out there.
Get some patsies in
right,
there.
they'd be the guineas, you know, and everybody else knows they're coming.
Right.
And so they're already to watch that. Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes when they get here. They're gone.
They split.
These other
Leave the
yo-yos,
guys that don't know
yeah,
anything about it
they're
that
still
aren't
out
in
there
on the
fighting.
scam.
Yeah, they're not in. They're out there
And-
fighting their chickens, you know.
And then bam, the
Boom.
cops come out
Cops
and
come out and get
boom,
'em.
throw them against the car.
Yeah.
Everything looks good for the news, and then they go to.
Or took front
they-
page, you know, hey, cockfight busted, you know, this guy, they got these spurs. and
Oh,
this
gosh.
So, man, this is a setup.
And you know that's no different than with anything else, especially with anything gambling oriented.
Yeah, when there's a lot of money involved.
When the cops in New York or Chicago, the big cities, whenever the mob would, you know, they had their gambling dens before, you know, when Vegas was the only place
Yeah.
you could play, or Atlantic City, before the Indian tribes really had casinos. And so they'd have their underground stuff, and then at a certain point, crooked sheriff so-and-so would say, hey, look,
Yeah.
mob guy, we're going to be, we got to throw a few busts out there.
Yeah.
So what the mob dudes would do is find a couple schmucks to come in and
Yeah.
come on and play poker with us, and come on out here there and get a couple guys that don't know anything about what's happening, but do know how to deal the game out there doing it, and then just magically disappear,
And they get
and then
it.
the raid comes down, and we busted up a big gambling operation, and the same thing
Yeah,
they
and the
did
next-
with
and the next day,
some of the other stuff too.
they
Any
kicked
vice
these-
law.
The next day, they'd kick these guys out of jail.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, drop the charges on them. and
Yeah,
everything,
get the
you know.
headline,
Yeah.
and busted,
Right.
and then the election happens, he wins, and then they'd magically be out on, there was some Fourth Amendment search and seizure issues.
Something, or DA was prosecuted, didn't have enough evidence.
Not enough evidence to prosecute. Oh,
Right.
gosh darn it, the search warrant they got wasn't
Right,
filled out
right,
properly. They forgot to cross one T and dot an I, and therefore the search warrant's invalid.
Yeah.
But we still seized all them chickens.
Yeah, got rid of those.
And we'll be auctioning them back off onto the streets to new, good owners.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's such a charade and a scam, but it's you gotta love it. It's America.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's the
Yeah.
valley and all that. They
Never go away.
No.
These
You-
animal righteous people, they get out there. Oh man, they're having a fit about all this stuff. But
Right.
Some of them you'll find them right in there too.
Yeah,
they're only animal righteous on weekends sometimes.
Right, and look, it's with any of these things, you'll have a so-called concerned citizens group
Oh,
that
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to make this illegal and that illegal, and then half the time the cops are like, sure, we'll support it because, it gives us more laws to enforce, which means
Yeah.
we've got more job security. And then under the table, they're taking the cash anyways, and
Yeah.
so they double dip anyhow. They get paid extra because there's more officers.
Yeah, it makes you think they come
And
in
then they
poor
get
and
their
they be
payoff.
rich.
And the same thing happens. Even with we see these stories every spring or fall actually. Hundreds of pot plants busted in the forest.
Oh yeah.
1,000
Yeah,
pot
really.
plants busted here.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that what happened was those were just worthless types of pot plants that the guys who run the show
Yeah.
on their fields and all that were like, these are the gimmies to the cops, And, you know, they take it, they fly it out on the helicopter, and then you have a bunch of guys in camouflage saying, yes, we trekked up here with our assault weapons, we seized it. But the real stuff gets down to the valley floor, and it's sold to the people that want to smoke that stuff or whatever. And then, you know, but it is a charade ultimately, and it's just, and it goes on with this, it goes on with gambling, goes on with, you know, pretty much any of this stuff. We're going to wrap up for a second here, go to commercial break. Yeah, I think it'd be a good time for commercial break.
I got something to tell you real stinky.
Uh-oh.
All right, welcome back again. Got to tell you about a stinky story. Before we left it, before we had commercial time, and well, I got one here about the ranch. I mean, we did a lot on that ranch out there as kids. I mean, we just stayed in trouble. But on this one deal here, you just more or less just involved me by myself. We had a big shop like the garage out there. They kept the tractors all in, and we had a big pit out there. We drive tractors over. You do your little work on the tractor underneath and drive them away. One day, my dad had a party they had out there, New Year's party or something. Anyway, usually we very seldom bus boys went in there because we were told that was off limits. So we kind of stayed out of there. But I wanted to see the next morning. I got up early. I wanted to see what was going on out there. I mean, I heard music, all kind of stuff that night out there. So they must have had a really good party. But anyway, when I went out there, I was looking on things and see these little drinks all over the place, and I'd smell a little bit and take a sip of it. Ooh, awful. And put it back down. But then I walked by this pit, and here was this animal down in this pit. And to me, at that time, it looked like a squirrel, I thought, or something like a squirrel. Anyway, I went down in that pit. Little thing, he just about like that, small. And I picked him up and got him out of the pit and played with it most of the day. Had a good time with it. Come nighttime, took him inside the house, snuck him in, put him in my bedroom, hid him underneath my covers. And all of a sudden, my mom come in there to say good night. And we all, hey, good night, Mom. Oh, this, that. And all of a sudden, hey, what's that moving your cover down there? You got one of them dogs in that bed with you? Well, yeah, it's a dog, Mom. It's a dog, Mom. So I didn't want to know what it was. She goes, oh, okay, but you get that dog out of there. Come on, get him out of there. He don't need to be in there. Mom, come on, let's keep that dog in there that night. You know, so we'll get him out later. Get that dog out. Now I'm going to go get your dad. Okay. So I got down there and she said, come on, little guy, come on out. And when that guy came out and my mom was standing there, all of a sudden she just screamed. Ah! And this little guy turned around and just stuck his little butt up in the air. And I never smelled something stink in my life. I mean, it was awful. This thing squirted all over our bed, my mom, the room. Oh, I mean, and I said, what did she do? You know, my poor friend here. You know, if I didn't say, get that thing out of here. And I picked him up, took him outside, said, you get rid of that thing now. So I went back outside, and I was supposed to let him loose crazy out there. I'm like, no, my little buddy here, he done nothing wrong. You know, it's not his fault. I don't know what stunk in there came out, but he did it. And I put him back in the thing where I found him at, in there, back in the pot thing. So anyway, we go back in the house. We all had to get out of bed. I mean, we stunk terrible. That's when I found out what a skunk was.
My
mom told me, you know, that's not...
that wasn't no dog.
That was no dog. That was no kitty. And it was no squirrel. I mean, that's a skunk.
You're lucky that guy didn't bite y'all.
Yeah, but he did. He didn't even squirt me. Nothing. So I At that time, I didn't know what a skunk was.
But you sure found out the hard way.
Oh, yeah. And to get rid of the stink, we had the old bathtubs at that time. They were huge. I mean, all three of us boys, they would get it one time and get lemon. I mean, mom went out to the lemon tree we got out in the yard, pulled every lemon off that thing and squeezed the soap and had all that stuff in the bathtub. And she took the first bath, I guess, to get it off of her.
Sure.
Yeah, and got all the clothes on, laundry, then got us boys out there, get us all cleaned up, this and that. And everything was really cool after that. And she goes, you know what, son? I'm not even going to tell your dad on this because he will not believe it. So I'm going to let it go. Oh, great, Mom. We didn't want to get no switch. So next morning, which was on a Sunday, my dad gets up early in the morning, goes out to the shop to do something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he do? He goes down in the pit right off, and here's this skunk. Got him.
Oh, boy.
He nailed my dad. He come out
Oh.
there, hey, there's a skunk in the pit up there. And he stopped my mom. You get away from all of us. And then it slipped, you know. We already had to do this once.
Oh.
What happened?
Oh, man.
And she told him, explained to him, and he had this little tiny boy here. He was got rid of him. I said, well, Mom, I did get rid of him. I put him back where I got him. They got my dad. Oh, come here, son. He didn't even wait to get a switch. He just grabbed a hold of me.
He's ready to wring your neck.
Yeah. Oh,
over
man.
that one.
Yeah, he kicked me around for a while. Yeah, I'd go by and hear, you suck your old butt in because he's trying to get away from that kick.
Oh.
He got that the whole day. I was afraid to get around him. Every time I did, he kicked me in the butt.
You literally got a butt kicking on that one.
Yeah, about every hour or so. And he'd find the nastiest, dirtiest job on that ranch for me to do because of that. You know, man, we were little kids. I mean, I guess we feared ourselves a little. I mean, we were kind of dumb at some things, like skunk. You know,
bringing a skunk into the house, right?
I seen it on TV for the Little Rascals, the way what they did. Like,
oh, gosh.
When they came and seen that, hey,
What'd you get for copying TV?
I got them beat, man. That's what I did. But the whole family had a laugh at that for a long time. Except, I mean, it's still, you smell that smell a week later. I mean, you just
that odor takes forever to go away.
You ever smelled a skunk?
Oh yes, out camping I have. Yes, oh yeah. They a lot of the campsites here in California. Out at nighttime, you'll see raccoons and skunks.
Raccoons.
Those boys have learned how to open up sheds and open up this and raid campsites. And I was out camping like a year or so ago and went outside. I heard something trying to be nice and quiet, but I heard it. And then looked near where the fire pit was, and there's a skunk out there. He's got his, in the air, tail in the air, ready to fire.
Nobody messed with the skunks. We even had this dog named Jigs. And old Jigs, he'd take anything on. Snakes, protect his kids like tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Old school, the country dog.
That dog stuck with us kids day and night.
Nice.
No matter what we did, he'd go with us. When we'd be out picking grapes, he'd be out there with us, and we'd find snakes out there all the time. And I guess they were just gopher snakes.
Or corn snakes, maybe.
Yeah, something. I just remember they were snakes. And he'd go out there and get them old snakes, and he'd get about that.
Shake them up.
Shake them. Every once in a while, one of them bite him. He got real good at killing those snakes. But that poor dog, one day he got ran over. Boy, that hurt us all then. But he was real old. He went quick. What happened when I went across the street with these kids we had dirt clod fights with?
Sure.
I think I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
About that earlier, later.
Yeah. Dirt clod fights were fun
with Boy Scouts and stuff.
All the time.
We even carried that over with our neighbors across the street out there. And we lived off of, I guess it'd be 41? The main road going into Hanford. That 41.
Towards where?
Hanford. You saw them on?
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
road goes straight out there.
Uh-huh.
That's where our ranch was. Is it off that road at that time? But there was no traffic like there is now.
No,
nothing like
it was
that.
much different.
And it was just one road going down and one coming back. That's it.
All right.
And it wasn't much of a road anyway. But these kids would be over there, we'd have golf flights all the time. And of all times, I walked over there for something, and that dog followed me behind, and a truck came by and hit him.
Oh, boy.
We cried. I bet we cried for 3 days. Not long about that dog. Until we got
Yeah,
him.
that's terrible.
Then
That's terrible.
Dad got us another dog.
But it's not quite the same, huh?
No, it never is. But we end up growing loving the dog anyway.
Of course. There's always, though, that's one dog or cat or whatever that's super special because he's
Yeah.
just got that character.
Yep.
He's got that ability to connect. He climbs into the family, and from day one, he's
Yeah.
right there like that. He looks out for you, make sure that the kids don't have any, nobody messes with the kids.
No.
Keeps
that
all the
dog
predators
would give
away,
his life
human
for
and
us.
animal predators. And
Yeah.
he'll go for the fight, even if he knows it's a losing one, just to keep you guys protected as kids.
Oh, yeah.
Those are
That dog
those are the best dogs. Of
even when
Old
we-
Yeller.
Yeah.
come
He,
back,
don't
Yeller.
believe it or not, he even looks like Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you seen that movie Old Yeller came out, it just reminded us of old jigs. But now we got little dogs. I got little Moki. He's a little runt. And he's attached like that, but he thinks he's a big dog.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he's a little dog, big
Yeah,
ego.
Yeah, big ego. I mean, we got the pit bull that my grandson dropped off the house right now, and he's got that pit bull doing whatever he wants.
I love that. I've
Yeah,
seen that
there-
dynamic before
Yeah,
with
Moki,
some of
if
them.
that dog bites, he ain't gonna have no head. Be gone. I mean, this dog. I've never been around pit bulls before in my life, but them dogs are stout and strong.
Oh yeah.
I just can't believe it. I mean, this dog probably stands 3 feet high, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, you hit him, he's solid, like a rock.
Oh yeah.
And my grandson, when he gets him, he punches him out. He said, that's the only way I can get him to do anything is punch him. Do anything else, he thinks you're playing with him. And that dog picked up where he likes me. It drives me crazy. I'll come in the house. These dogs hear me before I even get in. And they start raising Cain. And when I open the door, here's this big old dog. He jumps up and he hits me, and it's like, oh, man. Like somebody hit me in the gut with a 2x4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I come in and really I toss my hat in there and go, hey,
That's when you got to hit up that little dog to put
Yeah.
the bigger dog in line. I've seen that phenomenon before. It's funny where you got some little feisty dog
Yeah.
that has figured out how to get the big dog.
He thinks he's the male alpha.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's the alpha male, or they might even both be. But this one here, the little tiny little buggers, has figured out how to control the bigger one.
The
And
big one, I don't think he realized what he is yet.
yeah, there you go. And
They tell me he's still a pup.
right.
And I go, holy boy, if he's a pup, I hate to see when he gets full grown and all stuffed out.
Oh yeah. But if he's already listening to the little one right now,
Yeah.
he'll be trained to do that, and the little one will be smart enough not to screw around so
Yeah.
much that he ends up bringing out that killer instinct in the other one. Watch,
Yeah.
they'll have a good, cool relationship, and
I
you'll
know
have
now,
one
see,
that
there's a cheer there.
you got to have one, out of the two dogs. That little one's obviously the little Napoleon general,
Yeah.
and the big dog is the top lieutenant who knows how to go out and handle the war.
Yeah.
So you got to have one little Napoleon ordering the combat and another one doing the fighting.
Yeah, the other one does his job. I mean, people come to the door, whoo, whoo. I mean, it vibrate. He does. I go, oh, boy. My wife yells and screams at me, "Get over that door fast. All we hear is that dog to bite somebody." But the dog's the friendliest dog I ever seen.
It's even funnier when you see a cat that can control a big dog.
No, well,
I've
yeah.
seen that one a
Well,
few
we
times,
did
too.
have a cat. We still got him. It was always, he'd come in the house real quick and eat and go out. And all the little dogs were afraid of that cat because he got a hold of every one of them. We got 4 little dogs right now.
Mhm.
Only 2 is mine. The others, the grandkids and stuff like that, they
Right.
dropped off. Whenever they go, they're supposed to take these animals with them. I hope. They're going to keep them in my house.
Watch, they'll accidentally leave them there when they move. Watch. Be careful on that one.
Well, they've done it before where they stuck me with the dogs. You know, they leave, and then I lucky the dogs
Hey,
were
well,
old
you
enough
got
to
a
die.
ranch. You got a ranch, Grandpa?
Yeah, we ain't got a ranch. I downsized. I'm down to about 2 acres where I live at now. You know, I've got my horses out there and a few animals, and mostly dogs and turtles. I got a big old turtle pond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that thing, it started out with 2 little turtles. I went to Yuma, had my grandkids with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Grandpa, we just gotta have these turtles.
They
Can
found a
you
few?
please buy them for us, this and that? And the turtles are like $4, $5.
Oh, they bought them. Okay.
Yeah, I bought them. They're pretty little. So first thing we got home, you know, we made up a little. I had a fish tank, and I put them in that fish tank, put a filter in, and everything else. But still, after about 3 days, that tank would start smelling.
Oh,
And
boy.
I didn't realize that turtles really stink and stink fast.
Yeah, you should see that big tortoise. You've seen that big tortoise
Yeah.
we got outside. This big old African tortoise, folks. He's,
It's huge.
huge, like you see at the zoo.
Yeah.
And when he has to use the bathroom,
logs.
boy, those logs they're the size of corn cobs.
Yeah, but you put them in a small area. Oh, I mean, finally my wife goes, "You got to get them out of here. Them the turtles is out." And 4 little grandkids. At this time, they were real small. I think they were like probably 5 and 6,
Mm-hmm.
about that age. And so I said, "Oh man, I just can't get rid of them like the wife wants." So I went outside and dug me a big old hole and put some rubber stuff in it and
Yeah.
made a pond.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Little turtle pond.
Yep, and I put them in the little turtle pond and turn around, and one day I go out there, oop, where's the turtles?
They're long gone.
God.
They rolled out,
I
huh?
don't know what happened to them, but I went down and said, "Man, them grandkids, they could come over here and find out them turtles are gone." And they come over every week or every day usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran down to the pet store, and here they're $20 a piece.
Ah.
They ain't like in Arizona.
And they're like, well, those turtles look just like the ones I
Yeah.
just lost.
Right, so I'd buy 2 of them that looked like the ones we had. I'd put them out, the kids come over there, "Oh, yeah, our turtles." And I'd pull them out of the pond, play with them a little bit, put them back in. And they leave, and they wouldn't think about them for a while. The next thing, I mean, I don't know where those turtles was all going, but they all went, and I end up buying, I swear, at least 15 turtles. And I never could get them to stay in that pond for some reason.
No fence around it?
Well, I eventually put a fence around it,
All right.
and still they'd get out. And then I started getting these rumors down the block, finding turtles walking around.
Okay.
And I said, "Well, I know where that turtle went." And one day, I walked out in my pasture, back pasture, and here's this turtle. Then they're stiff. I go, "Oh no, this one got out and stayed out here and got fried by the sun," but he looked good. he looked like he didn't die that long ago. So I'll fix those kids on this one. I went down to my shop, got me some varnish, and
Yeah?
I varnished that old turtle all up and everything. And I put him out by the pond on the side of it, and the people gets, "Oh yeah, that's my turtle there." They'd point at him, and yeah, this is mine's over here. And one man he kept saying, "Grandpa, how come my turtle don't move much?" He's just out there going, look at his statue.
Well,
If I-
grandson, that's what they do at times. They
Yeah.
love to just, they
Yeah.
find a comfortable position,
I would tell him
they
he's
stay
bathing-
there.
Yeah, I told him he's bathing in the sun. But then that lasted for a while. But then one day, that's after
You got to move them every so often.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, he moved last night."
Yeah, but he had the same position.
Yeah.
I mean, I did do that. But, you know, he always had that funny look on his face, you know, and just flipped up in the air. And one day he went over there, "Oh, get my turtle. Oh, my turtle's over here." He goes, grab it, and poosh. It just went to dust.
Grayson, you killed him.
Yeah. The head, the feet, everything just went. But the shell was still good.
The shell was, there you go.
Grandpa, what happened to my turtle? I don't know, Trevor. I don't know. Something got it, and he just went poof. Maybe God took him.
Only God could do that.
God wanted him or something. He just took him and turned him to
From
dust.
dust we were created,
Yeah,
dust we
right.
shall return,
Yeah.
right?
So the kid bought that for a while. Now he's older, and Grandpa, I think you got me on that one.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of God, well, we got through another episode here.
Yep, getting right that time. Time flies by fast when you're having fun.
Absolutely. Next week, right?
Yeah, next Friday, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, same time, same
time.
channel, CentralValleyTalk.com.
Yep, and if you're thinking about what's work, call Tulare County for the grand jury. We're recruiting right now, so.
You
give us
heard
a
it
call.
here first,
You'll
folks.
enjoy it. Very exciting work, so
Well, on behalf of Charlie and his friend,
we're out.
we are out.